This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 29th day of July in the year 2024. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here is what we're tracking tonight. The electoral fraud trial opened today with State Prosecutor Darshan Ramdani telling the court that the prosecution will prove that former Chief Elections Officer Keith Lowenfield, former Deputy Chief Elections Officer Roxanne Myers, and Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo conspired with others in an attempt to defraud the electorate during the 2020 general and regional elections. The case is being heard by Magistrate Lerone Daly. During today's hearing, the court struck out portions of testimony from Ramdani's first witness, Minister of Local Government Sonia Parag. She was asked to leave the witness box on a number of occasions as the prosecution and defense teams clashed over various statements that she offered to the court during her testimony. The defense attorneys include UC Anderson, Ronald Daniels, and Darren Wade. Minister Parag, who said she was an accredited candidate for the PP Civic at the 2020 elections and was tasked with observing the electoral process, set out during her testimony to articulate the electoral process following the close of poll. But defense attorney Anderson questioned whether she was the appropriate witness to provide the court with such details. His objection led to Magistrate Daly striking out a portion of Parag's testimony relating to the electoral process. Anderson also questioned whether, as a candidate in the elections, Parag was even permitted to be in the command center. The prosecution told the court that whether or not she was accredited to be in the command center, she witnessed alleged crimes taking place and stands as a witness. Other objections came from attorneys Ronald Daniels and Darren Wade and related in part to the inclusion of fresh testimony by Parag, which she did not mention in her statement to the court during the initial stages.
In the latter portion of Ms. Parag's testimony, she was given evidence that was not disclosed to the defense. And of course, we've had quite a protracted period over which disclosure could have been made. So we took the objection that the evidence that she was given, we did not have the benefit of that to obtain instructions from our clients so that we can treat with that accordingly. Quite unfortunately, our learned senior on the prosecution side took the view that the witness should be permitted to what we would deem as to venture on a frolic of her own, to give testimony about virtually anything, anything that he perhaps deems relevant, which was not disclosed to the defense. So we just stood our ground on that.
Wade said it was not for Parag to provide the court with hearsay evidence, as he alluded to attempts to articulate the establishment of the electoral process. Collectively, they argued that the prosecution should have first laid the foundation by establishing key facts before bringing Parag to the stand.
Well, the key objection, one is the issue of hearsay, or what she has the competence to say and what she cannot say. So, for example, the documents she had in her possession, she or the persons who, or the creator of those documents are not the one giving the evidence. Ms. Parag lacks the competence because she was not the one who created those documents. It was on that basis I objected when she tried to say there was a verification process. She cannot verify it, because she was not the author or creator of those evidence. And Mr. Ramdani herself acknowledged that and said the portions are coming after. And rightfully, my colleague said that when you're building a house, the foundation is built first. So I believe that was the basis, and the court agreed and ruled in our favor.
However, the state prosecutor, both inside and outside of the courtroom, questioned the relevance of the objections raised by the defense.
We have finally started this trial, and one witness is in the box giving evidence. We've had a good morning so far. There have been a lot of objections. You have seen the objections. I think it's almost objection after objection, but the evidence is flowing smoothly. Well, what did you make of them? You saw the magistrate let us continue with the evidence. So the objections or no objection, the evidence is coming out. And there was an objection taken, for instance, as to the identification of these defendants. And the magistrate made it very clear that this case will not turn upon whether these people are the people who were sitting along in that room calling out numbers, because that's what the defense tried to do, to object on the identification of the defendants charged as being persons who were associated with these allegations. And the magistrate properly overruled that.
However, attorney Ronald Daniels told reporters that given the damning allegations leveled against their clients, it is important for the defense to ensure that the process is fair and their clients are properly represented.
I just want to emphasize on the fact that these are really damning allegations which are made against these 9 accused persons that have potentially really reverberating consequences. So this process absolutely must be characterized by fairness. And it's really curious that our learned senior on the prosecution side seemed to be of the view that it was okay not to disclose the bit of evidence that Ms. Sprague came and gave this morning, or attempted to give this morning, relative to the portion that the court did not, the portion of the testimony that the court did not accommodate.
Sprague, during her testimony, recounted being in a room at the GCOM Command Center when questions first surfaced about some of the figures that were being presented by some officials from the Election Commission. In his opening statement to the court before Sprague took the stand, the state prosecutor told the court that the 9 defendants, who are facing a total of 19 conspiracy charges, attempted to declare fraudulent results during the course of the 2020 elections in favor of the APNU-AFC, which was in government at the time. The defendants in the matter are Keith Lowenfield, the former Chief Election Officer, the former Deputy Chief Election Officer Roxanne Myers, and the former Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo, along with Member of Parliament for the APNU-AFC Volder Lawrence, People's National Congress Reform Member Carol Smith-Joseph, and the Election Officers Sheffer in February, Enrique Liven, Denise Bob Cummings, and Michelle Miller. The prosecutor said it is the prosecution's case that while the electoral process went smoothly on polling day, the process went downhill during the tabulation of the votes for District 4, when Mingo and others allegedly discarded the statutory process of using statements of poll and submitted it with a spreadsheet that included inflated numbers in favor of the APNU-AFC. Throughout his opening arguments, the state prosecutor sought to link the 9 defendants to the crime of conspiracy to commit fraud, telling the court that while some of the defendants did not play an active role from the start, others inserted themselves and actively participated in overt activities intended to defraud the electorate. The case is set to continue tomorrow. More news coming up in just a moment.
Your own home is so much more than just 4 walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Calling all small to large scale businesses, the International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
5 days after he was arrested at his Sandy Bab Street Kitty home following the discovery of high-powered guns and ammunition, 46-year-old Ian Fagundes appeared in court today and was charged with the offenses of possession of firearm without license and possession of ammunition without license. He appeared at the Georgia Magistrates Court before Magistrate Clive Nurse and pleaded not guilty to the two charges. He was refused bail and remanded to prison until the 27th of August when the case will continue. 5 family members of the accused were also arrested during the initial stages of the investigation, but charges have not been filed against any of them. Last Wednesday morning, the police carried out a search operation at the Sandy Bab Street residence of the accused. While nothing was found in the house, the police reported that several guns were found in a bag that the man was carrying, and another set of guns and hundreds of rounds of ammunition were found in a car just opposite the man's house. The police in a statement said the man admitted to them that while he was not the owner of the car, he was using it at the time. The seized weapons included handguns and assault rifles with hundreds of ammunition and magazines. Well, less than 1 week after 2 senior non-commissioned officers of the Guyana Defense Force were remanded to jail for marijuana trafficking, 2 other ranks were nabbed over the weekend with a large quantity of marijuana, and are now set to face similar marijuana trafficking charges. On Saturday night, 40-year-old GDF Corporal Edward McCalmont and 24-year-old Lance Corporal John Johnson were arrested with 316 pounds of marijuana in a minibus that is owned by McCalmont. The 2 GDF ranks were nabbed by the police along Mandela Avenue during an operation that the police said was intelligence-led. The police statement explained that at the time of the bust, GDF Corporal McCalmont and Lance Corporal Johnson were dressed in their military uniforms. After the large quantity of marijuana was discovered in their possession, they were told of the offense of drug possession for the purpose of trafficking and arrested by the police. The 2 soldiers remain in custody as the investigations are ongoing. Last week, non-commissioned officers Staff Sergeant Adisa Higgins and Sergeant Clovis Sam were nabbed with 154 pounds of marijuana in a Guyana Defense Force vehicle at Land of Canaan on the east bank of the Marara. Just after that bust, an embarrassed Guyana Defense Force described it as an anomaly, while stating that the action of the 2 officers does not represent the men and women of the GDF. Now, a few days later, the GDF finds itself facing the same embarrassment all over again. Well, President Irfan Ali has made a call on his fellow CARICOM leaders to step up their investment in border security in order to reduce and root out drug trafficking, gun running, and other forms of transnational crimes that continue to plague the region. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting on Sunday in Grenada, the president said because of the closeness of the countries in the region, illegality at one country's border can effectively affect another country's border, which can in turn increase crime and criminality in that country.
We have to ensure we build stronger systems so that our borders are not used as tools to affect other borders and other countries. We have to fight the drug trade, fight transnational crime. And to do that, we have to invest in security. We have to invest in border protection. We have to invest in port security. We have to meet all international standards, and we are committed to doing so.
The president also said a large number of weapons are pouring into the region, and it is now time for keen attention to be placed on border security, calling for investments and special assistance to deal with crime and criminality in the region.
But our commitment to ensuring that the societies we built have safeguards that would disallow the type of weapons that are getting into our borders. Just as we have to build our borders and we're investing our borders, investing in our security system to ensure our borders reduce the negative impact on other borders.
And in giving an update on the situation in Haiti, the president said, while the situation is far from perfect, Haiti is much more stable now as the region continues to work to bring it back to a state of normalcy.
Today, we have a presidential council, a prime minister, and we remain strongly committed to the task of ensuring Haiti return to full normalcy, democracy, and governance. Make no mistake, this was no easy task. This was not accidental. This was hard work, sustained work, and commitment from this region.
The president said the role played by CARICOM to bring the situation to some semblance of normalcy in Haiti should not be understated.
Are you looking for the best high school education at affordable fees? Then register your child today at the VYC Academy. Now enrolling grades 7, 8, 9, and 10 students for the 2024-2025 academic year. VYC Academy, achieving academic excellence. For more information, call us on 227-1013 or WhatsApp us at 649-1300.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Monster, bust the flavors. We're full of flavors. Bust the flavors, that my crave for. We're full of flavors. Tell your neighbors about the bust the flavors. Grab a bust the flavors. Yeah, thirst buster, grab a buster. Bust the flavor, taste the savor. Buster, bust the flavors. Buster, bust the flavors.
Old Boys Town resident Marlon Marcus, also known as Mice Man, was charged and remanded to jail today for the attempted murder of 6-year-old Jeremiah Gustav. The young boy was shot to the head 2 weeks ago while sitting next to his mother's food stand in the Charlestown community. He remains hospitalized in a critical condition. In court today, the accused, Marlon Marcus, was not required to enter a plea to the charge. He has been remanded to jail until the 19th of August, when the matter will continue. Marcus was arrested last week after the police issued a wanted bulletin for him in connection with the shooting. A wanted bulletin was also issued for Charlestown resident Odell Garnett, also known as Crab. There are reports that Garnett has surrendered to the authorities to be questioned about the shooting. The two men were allegedly involved in a shootout with each other when the young boy was struck to the head by a bullet just as his mother was about to grab him to run for cover. He was rushed to the Georgetown Hospital and admitted in a critical state. He has not regained consciousness just yet. A 26-year-old man from Good-for-Wacting squatting area on the east coast of the Marara died on Sunday after he was shot by the police in the Cummings Lodge community. The police said the man, Gordon Sanko, opened fire on police ranks who were investigating a discharging of firearm matter. A statement from the Guyana Police Force indicated that police ranks on patrol responded to a report of a man discharging a loaded firearm just after 12 o'clock on Sunday morning. The police said when the ranks arrived at the scene in Cummings Lodge, the suspect was spotted after he was identified and pointed out by persons in the area. The police report stated that on seeing the ranks, 26-year-old Gordon Sanko took out a handgun from the waist of his pants and discharged 2 rounds in the direction of the police ranks, forcing the ranks to take cover. The report further stated that one of the ranks discharged 2 rounds in the direction of Sanko, who collapsed after being shot. He was picked up and taken to the Georgetown Hospital, where he passed away while receiving treatment. An investigation has been launched into the incident. The police said a .38 pistol and 3 live rounds of ammunition were found at the scene.
Hey Guyana, are you ready for an African explosion of culture as the African Culture and Development Association ACDA hosts Emancipation Festival 2024, featuring premier cultural acts from top Guyanese groups, South America, the Caribbean, and around the world. Come, let's celebrate the culture of our forefathers with African food, history, fashion, innovation at Guyana's biggest cultural festival. August 1st in the National Park. Gates open at 10 a.m. See you there. A round day, we all pull together.
Calling all small to large scale businesses. The International Building Expo 2024 is coming to the National Stadium from August 8th to 11th, 2024. Whether you're a small business or a major player, there's a package for you starting as low as $20,000. Network with industry leaders, boost your brand visibility, and generate high quality sales leads. Register now at www.buildingexpo.gy. That's www.buildingexpo.gy. Or call 592-635-1103 or 592-635-1104.
Oh no, welcome to Building Expo. Yeah.
Another car, or is it a house?
If you're looking for sweetness to put inside a basket, I am the whole Blinken Market.
Get ready for the 3rd edition of Blankets and Baskets on August 4, 2024. The Maltino's ground comes alive with Guyana's best entertainers and a vibe that can't be matched. Come for a chance to win numerous prizes, including the grand prize of a... Tickets are $6,000 with other special luxury packages from $40,000 to $120,000. It's the Blankets and Baskets Extravaganza. For more information, check out Blankets and Baskets on Facebook.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyana is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyana's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyana has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
NYC, New York City. Get ready as the original Big People Party with the same vibes you've seen and loved comes to you this Labor Day weekend on Saturday, August 31st with some of the biggest one-man bands out of Guyana and New York. Look out for Super A, Murphy, Busta, and Super Terry. Big People Party! Along with the legendary Glenn Washington.
Baby, don't take my kindness for weakness. If loving you is wrong, I don't wanna be right.
Glenn Washington and his band at Industry City, New York City. Get your super early bird general tickets at $40 and VIP access $150 all inclusive. And all are available at hjexperience.com. This event is brought to you by Hits and Jabs Entertainment, Marvelous Entertainment, and GD Events. It's the original Big People Party at Industry City, New York City on Saturday, August 31st. The big and proper edition.
With your regional and international news tonight, I'm Svetlana Marshall in the region. Protests erupted in sections of Venezuela on Monday after President Nicolas Maduro and opposition rival Edmundo Gonzalez both claimed victory in a tense weekend election. Few businesses were open and public transportation was scarce, according to Reuters eyewitnesses across the country, as governments in Washington and elsewhere cast doubt on official results that kept the incumbent Maduro in power and called for a full tabulation of votes. The National Electoral Authority said just after midnight that Maduro had won a third term with 51% of the vote, a result that would extend a quarter century of socialist rule. Later, it proclaimed Maduro president for the term between 2025 and 2031, adding he had won the majority of valid votes. But independent exit polls pointed a big opposition win, following enthusiastic shows of support for Gonzalez and opposition leader Maria Corina Machado on the campaign trail. Gonzalez won 70%, said Machado, who has been barred from holding public office in a decision she says is unfair. Rules were violated on polling day, the opposition said, citing its witnesses being prevented from attending counts, among other issues. U.S. non-profit the Carter Center, who sent observers to Venezuela for the vote, called on the Electoral Authority to immediately publish the results by polling station. The Electoral Authority is meant to be an independent body, but the opposition says it acts as an arm of the Maduro government. St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on Monday said he's hoping that the Caribbean Community CARICOM leaders will issue a statement regarding the outcome of the presidential elections in Venezuela. According to CMC, Gonsalves, an ally of President Nicolas Maduro, said he has already issued a congratulatory message to the Venezuelan leader and is hoping that CARICOM leaders who are meeting in Grenada for their 47th regular meeting will do so also. Gonsalves told CMC that the history of elections in Venezuela would indicate that they are free and fair. But the last election, some countries claim that the polls did not reflect the will of the people. But he noted that the U.S.-based Carter Center, for instance, reported that the Venezuelan election machinery is one of the most sophisticated and transparent in the entire world. He said St. Vincent and the Grenadines is satisfied based on reports from officials on the ground, including its ambassador in Caracas, that the election was fair. And finally tonight, international news. 2 children have died and 9 were injured, 6 critically, after a knife man launched a vicious attack at a children's dance workshop, according to the BBC. 2 adults are also in a critical condition after being stabbed as they try to protect children at the Taylor Swift team event on Hart Street in Southport, Merseyside police said. A 17-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder and attempted murder. Police said the motivation for the attack was unclear, but it was not being treated as terror-related. One witness described the scene as horrendous and said she had never seen anything like it. Merseyside Police Chief Constable Serena Kennedy told a news conference officers were called to the scene following reports of attack. She said when they arrived, they were shocked to find that multiple people, many of whom were children, had been subjected to a vicious attack and had suffered serious injuries. The incident occurred on what is the first full week of the school summer holidays for many children in the UK. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.